a lot's been said about Iowa State's past defense, their secondary. What do you see from them on film? Do they remind you of the opponent from earlier this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to go into where it's just about the pass defense. We're talking about a defense that's been together and talked about for a long time. And I've played this defense before, messing a hell of a job for a long time. Their defense coordinator's been there a long time. They've heard the verbiage. They've got the packages. They know what's going on. They know all the checks. These guys do as good a job as anybody we played. This will be the best defense we've played so far.
How does the loss of Tyson affect what you do offensively?
You got a leading receiver in your offense that goes down. I mean, that's going to affect anybody. You got some guys that are going to have to pick up the flag and carry it. That's exciting for those guys to have to do the job at this stage in our season, to be able to go on the stage like we're about to go on and perform. I think we look at that with an opportunity more than we do about anything else. And I think we're bummed not to have Jordan, because obviously he has a really special season. We've seen what we can do in the short time we've put things together, and the chemistry he's provided to our offense. But they're not going to cancel the game. We got to go, and I'm excited about the work.
Coach, your number one running back has been getting so much attention lately, right?
What's his name?
Scat. Something like
Scat.
This guy.
Scat.
But he's a guy that kind of came from out of nowhere. And now all of a sudden he's getting all this attention. How do you make sure he is able to play with the expectation and make sure he doesn't get a big head?
Yeah, I mean, I give big kudos to our group for keeping a level head overall as a unit. I think it's probably a standard. It's probably really a program standard inside the walls. We don't get too far over skis. We're a pretty humble group that likes the work, that's passionate about being really, really competitive with each other, not worried about too much outside noise and blocking some stuff out. I mean, at the end of the day, a reminder, we were picked dead ass last. Ain't no one believing nothing that we were doing. There's a lot of guys on our team, a lot of guys where we're from, a lot of coaches where we're from grew up that way. I think that we've kept our core together in regards to being humble and hardworking, competitive, confident, and I think that you see that reflective in all our players, including Scat. Scats is probably as instrumental in showing that as anybody else. Hardworking guy, puts his head down, goes to work, as tough as it gets, and not worried about anything else, and kind of lets his work speak for himself. And that's kind of how it goes.
Has anything surprised you about what Sam Leavitt has done this year?
Yeah, I mean, each week we get a chance to see him grow up a little bit and grow into the offense. We talked early on about what you hope freshmen, how they develop. How the game slows down, what they can continue to do each week, in and out of the week, with each game, and there's just little things that over the course of the season that we've seen that continue to go, wow, the development is really maturing. He's putting a lot of work in. Again, my hat's off to the way he comes in every day and tries to start fresh and gets after it. For a freshman to be able to have that type of mentality is really says a lot to what we've got going moving forward and what he's done.
Coach Sam said yesterday, he was asking about the atmosphere Saturday. He said, I'm going to take it all in, and then I'm going to just kind of go into my bubble and get ready to play a game.
Yeah.
How do you talk about the rest of the offensive guys, just what to expect Saturday in that atmosphere?
Yeah, same way. Most of us coaches and myself included, in some big games like this, it's been fun. You get a chance to kind of preview it for them a little bit, what it's going to be like, get excited about it. I'm not a believer in scaring the crap out of guys where you all of a sudden, hey, it's going to be so tight, it's going to be this, don't take it in, it's going to be, you can't do it that way. That's not the way it works. I wasn't like that as a player. I'm not like that as a coach. You want to take it in, man. Take it all in, but learn you got to kind of teach guys how to turn it off at a certain point, how to develop that kind of bubble mentality that you've kind of seen from our guys, as you've probably seen if you've been around games where we've been there, but pre-game, there's a lot of our guys are pretty calm. We go into it pretty excited and hyped and excited about the opportunity. This is going to be an awesome one. I'll describe some of the things we've been through once we get closer to it, and other games, big games I've been in, and enjoy it. And then when it comes to that time, you got to turn everything off. You turn everything off and dial in.
When you look at this year's recruiting class that just signed, what were some of the priorities that you wanted to accomplish on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think in the early stages, the first 11 months I've been here, I think we were everything was at a starting point in regards to getting bigger, stronger, faster. And I think those are the physical traits, obviously, with what we're looking for when it talks about the physical tools and the traits that you need on our side of the ball, whether you're talking about the O-line or the backfield or the wide receivers, getting more explosive, getting bigger, getting longer. Those things are all the things that are going to make for us to be competitive physically. I think the thing that showed up most in this class is you got another group of really good kids, really humble, hardworking, from good families, from good programs, successful players that have a lot of good traits. But a lot of these guys are ultra competitive and really good dudes. None of them are too far over their skis. None of them are eye guys. A lot of blue collar guys who want to be in Tempe to do something special, and that's why we're all here. And they fit what we need, our type of guys.
And Marcus, kind of going off of that, what's this opportunity being in Texas with that Texas to Tempe connection mean for recruiting and just kind of putting it on an even bigger stage?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a huge recruiting base for us, as we know. We've referenced that. We hashtag that. It's a big movement for us. We got a lot of coaches who've worked there for a long time, worked there, coached there, recruit there. A lot of really good players, a lot of roster players, a lot of connections there. So to have the opportunity to pull in a class of players from Texas to be, as we preached, and then now go back there with the game is pretty cool. It's a nice little culmination to set it off as we move forward into the future seasons.
You've had to navigate playing without Sam this season, navigate playing without Scott. How do you kind of adapt your offense without getting away from who you are when you also lose a guy like Tyson? And just
Yeah, we're gonna have to be a little creative in how we get guys the ball, move them around, some different packaging. You guys have seen it a lot. You've seen different formations. You've seen guys in different spots and ball carriers and different ways to manipulate the formations or eye violate or whatever we need to do and leverage the defense. And we're going to have to do that again to provide a little bit of spark and to create to try to shrink that gap of things we've lost. And that's going to be a challenge versus a really good team.
Coach, last one for me. What's Sam's chemistry like with the guys who need to step in for Jordan?
Good. I think there's the guys who are stepping in. A lot of the guys have been here. The only guy who's really pulled back up, in McLean, who's back out there with us, Malik, which is awesome to get him back out for the season. Things like this in the bowl season, you can get young guys back out there, guys who wouldn't count for their eligibility is really cool. So Malik's the guy, but Malik had a bunch of experience in the fall camp, and so that's good. He's not a guy who's just fresh off the bench who we haven't seen. They've never communicated. He gets to go back into it and get ready to roll. The rest of the guys are, those guys have been rolling and in it. So I think Sam's got an opportunity to get with those guys in the next 48 hours and continue to gel and create communication, and it should be exciting.
How has Malik continued to work after the decision that he was going to redshirt?
Yeah, I mean, we've had the weird thing, we've had 2 bye weeks, right? So we've had a chance to see him for two weeks in the season where we got to put those guys out there for a ton of reps in those weeks where we weren't doing much with the starters. So it's actually been worked out probably to our benefit to see him challenge him and get to coach him for those 2 bye weeks. And then he's been over servicing the defense, getting after him. He's done a really good job and been the ace wide receiver for the scout team and done things like that. So he's done a really good job. He stayed very, very present and engaged in what we're doing, and I'm excited.